Hi guys, Alice Taylor here. It's towards the end of May 2016 and I'm going to do my what's in the bag for this coming season. So we're already into the season, but there was a couple of later additions to my bag, so an updated version of the one I did earlier in the year. So we're going to start with driver, work down through the clubs, down through my wedges, and finally finish with my putter and my golf ball. So driver for this year is the Nike Vapor Fly Pro driver. So Vapor Fly Pro driver. So got the photo blue head for this year. For me, I love the colour of that for this year, and I like the way the swoosh in the vault still stands out on the head. Nothing fancy with the way I set this one up. I've got this set at 9.5 neutral. 9.5 for me with the way I hit up on the ball. I think gives me some good launch conditions. And the neutral club head, I like to work the ball both ways. Head nice and forgiving for me, but still low spinning enough that I feel I can go after it from time to time and I don't have to hit it perfectly. Shaft in the driver for this year, I've gone for the, can't know if you can see it on there, the Tour ADI 6, just in the black and white, stiff flex. And all in all, I get some good numbers from the driver and been a good addition to the bag for this season. Okay guys, so like I said, that's been a good addition. I've always been a good driver of the ball and just feel kind of, as we go year on year, I don't necessarily see loads more distance, maybe just a handful of yards, but still I want a driver in the bag that's workable, that I feel I can cut it, fade it, maybe hit it higher if I need to, or maybe a touch lower. And that certainly fits the bill. I won't change driver for the sake of it. I think as long as I feel it's at least as good as a previous model, it'll be in the bag. If not, I'd be quite happy to stick with last year's. But for me, my model last year was really good. Just felt it wasn't quite as forgiving as maybe I needed, so that's been a great addition. So go from driver to fairway wood. Any of you guys that watch my videos will know that 3 wood, I'm not the best in the world off the floor with 15 degrees. So I have, for fairway wood this year, I've got a 3HL in the Vapor Fly. So fairway wood, Vapor Fly, 3HL, so 17 degree. For me, this is a 4 wood, 3 high launch. I think the manufacturers like everyone to feel that they've got a 3 wood in the bag. Doesn't bother me too much what number it says on it, just the loft that gives me the best flight. So where the driver's got the photo blue with the black face, the silver face. So probably would have preferred it with the black, but still like the way I can see plenty of the club face there as I address the golf ball, which is great. Same shaft or fairway wood equivalent shaft, the Tour ADI 6 stiff flex that's in my driver. Gives me something that's, I'll use a little bit off the tee, not massively, but much more about fairway wood shots and some of the shots out of semi-rough. I think this gives me a little bit more versatility. Okay, as we move into my irons, first new addition, I've got the Nike Fly Pro 3 iron. So this is going to give me a little bit of versatility off the tee, certainly on those shorter holes where I want to hit maybe one a bit flatter and chase it out. This is one that's going to be a good addition to the bag and has already proved to be a good change for this season. So new addition to my bag since I last did a what's in the bag, I've got the Vapor Fly Pro 3 iron. Now, hollow head, so nice and forgiving. I love the way an iron looks sitting behind the ball, and I much prefer the look and feel of an iron to a hybrid. So this has been good. I had the Speed 3 iron last year, which was nice, but kind of felt that I struggled to hit the low one. With this one, I can certainly hit low chases off the tee if I want. Still got it up 2 degrees upright, but I've gone an inch longer on this. So even though it says 3 on the bottom, playing much more like a kind of 2 iron for me that I can be a bit more versatile with. But that's been a really, really good addition for the bag for this season. So like I said, the 3 iron's been a little change for me this year, but that's been good. Irons, as I had for last season, I've got 40 pitching wedge. I should say the 3 iron is an inch longer than standard. My irons are ½ inch longer than standard. And all my irons and wedges are 2 degrees upright. So 4-iron to pitching wedge for me, carried over from last season, the Vapor Pro combo. Now, even though we're into the season, I'm still seriously tempted to change these for the Fly Pro from 4 to wedge to match my 3-iron. But I just slightly prefer the kind of feel of the forged club that this gives me. You know, it looks much more like a blade without being a blade. I obviously grew up playing blades. So it gives me that little bit of forgiveness, but still gives me that ability to kind of shape the ball and control the trajectory like blades used to, while giving me the feel that I really love as well. So as I go through my irons, I see some good gapping from 4 all the way down to pitching wedge, and then we get into kind of the scoring part of the game, the bit that really makes a difference if you're hitting the ball decently, my wedges. So 3 wedges under my pitching wedge, a 52, 56 and 60, all in the Nike Engage wedge. So for my wedges, I've got the Engage wedges in there. I've got 52 and 56, both in the square sole. For me, they're a good amount of bounce on there that I can be versatile with them, but I don't really open the club face much on 52 and 56. But the 60-degree Engage, I've actually got the dual sole. I don't know if you can see that on there. But a little bit more of a grind off the back. So it gives me that little bit more versatility with my bunker shots and some of my pitch shots to just play around with the club face angle if I want. But they've been a nice addition to this year, and I always like my gap wedge, my sand wedge, and my lob wedge to look and feel the same as each other if I can. And 52, 56 and 60 give me a perfect gapping down from my pitching wedge. So the wedges are giving me the opportunity to get the ball close, and then hopefully this new addition is the one that's going to get me finishing it off for this season. So the Nike Method Origin putter. So my Nike Method Origin B201 putter. So very clean, classic lines. The lame line on the back. Probably the most popular shape of putter with various manufacturers that's ever been made. We've now got grooves across the face, so should get the ball rolling a little bit more on some of those slight mishits. Weights in the bottom and a little bit of resin to make it a bit more forgiving. So certainly the putter's definitely just taken a little bit of time to get used to the feel. Not so much on the short ones, but maybe the longer ones. Noise is a little bit different from last year's model, but even within a couple of weeks of getting it, you know, I'm getting more and more comfortable with that. So the final piece of kit would be my golf ball. Now, I'm not someone that spins it a huge amount with my irons, but generally I've spun it too much with driver. So for this year, I've moved into the Nike Resin Tour Platinum ball. So final piece of kit, and possibly the most important bit of kit, the bit that I use every shot, my golf ball. So the Resin Tour Platinum for this year. I've gone from the black last year to the platinum this year. Just felt for chipping and pitching, I get a little bit more feel, but certainly off the tee, still don't spin it a lot, but still get enough spin with my irons that a really good all-round performance ball for me that gives me a little bit of extra length off the tee, but probably a little bit more kind of touch and feel in the short game than my golf ball has the last couple of seasons. Okay then guys, so that gives you a little bit of insight as to what's in my bag. You know, the driver, just the one fairway wood, long irons, but the 3 irons are a lot easier to hit than the other irons. I mean, generally speaking, my ball striking's okay, pretty decent. So that for me just gives me that little bit of forgiveness that I probably want with something a bit longer and that has that construction of head. But everything else in there, each of these clubs is a specific job for full shots. You know, all my yardages are gapped very well, so I haven't got any big gaps in there. And then with my wedges particularly, I've got 3-length swings, less than a full swing, that I know yardage is for. And then obviously, like I said, new putter in the bag for this season. Hopefully that's gonna help me finish that off. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed seeing what's in my golf bag. I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Are you somebody that likes long irons? Are you somebody that struggles with long irons but still has them in the bag? Let me know kind of what your makeup is. Very interested for you guys that have been fitted. Did you do a gapping session at the same time to make sure that the clubs are doing different jobs from each other? I'm sure you have done. There's loads of great fitters out there. So guys, as ever, thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Comment below and I'll try and get back to as many as I can. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here at Herons Reach in the future. Stay in contact.